Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. BrooklynMuslimah here. And I want to go over the prayer. Okay, so today's video, we're going to talk about prayer, Salah, the Salah. Okay, so there's a few components to prayer. We have rakats, which are the units of movement. We have the names of the prayers, the times of the prayers, and the names of the prayers, times of the prayers, and the amount of rakats, and whether the prayer is silent or whether the prayer is aloud. Okay, so the names of the prayers are Fajr, F-A-J-R, Fajr. The second prayer is Zor. All right. Some people may say Zor. Some people may say Zor. We say D-H-U-R, Zor. Asr, A-S-R, Asr. Maghrib, M-A-G-H-R-I-B, Maghrib. And the last prayer of the day is Isha, I-S-H-A, Isha. So we have Fajr, Zor, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Okay. Now, Fajr is before the sun rises. Zor is when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. Asr is about 2 hours, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 3 hours after Zor. And Maghrib is a sunset prayer. Before sunset, and the Isha is about hour and a half or 2 hours after Maghrib. The prayer time depends on where the alignment of the sun is where you are. So in order to find out your specific prayer times, I would suggest you could Google prayer times and put your town or state or city there, and it will give you the accurate prayer times. Okay, so you can just type in prayer times and it will give that to you. There's quite a few I'm sorry, I had to scoot forward a little bit. There's quite a few Islamic websites or apps you can use for your phone that will call to prayer and things like that, just for reminders. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is, what is a rakat? What is a rakat? A rakat is a series of movements in the prayer, and I printed out this page just so that I can show you the motions of the prayer. Okay, so it's gonna be over my face just so it's close enough for you to see, but no worries. All right, so I'm gonna make sure all of this is on the screen. Yes. Okay. So this first position here, she's showing the standing position, which is Qiyam. In this position, they're showing specifically her eyes. The dots are showing her eyes are at the prostration point. The prostration point is where her head would reach the carpet when she goes into prostration position. This one here is the takbir position. Takbir is when you say Allahu Akbar, you raise your hands to where your ears are and you say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. A-L-L-A-H-U. Allahu Akbar. A-K-B-A-R. Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. The Lord is the greatest. Okay? So Allahu Akbar right here. Okay? And then at that portion in the prayer, your hands will go into this position. That's folded over your chest, right hand over left, like it's shown here. Okay? So she would stand in this position. This position is called Qiyam. It's a standing position, and this is where you would say the Fatiha and a secondary surah of the Quran. The Fatiha is the first dua in the Quran. Okay? And then this position is called Qiyam. This is the first position of prayer. This position is called Ruku. Okay? Ruku. R-U-K-U. Ruku. It means bowing. This is the bowing position. And this little box right here is showing where her hands would be. They're resting on her knees. She's not grasping her knees or anything like that. They're merely resting on her knees. Okay? And then down here we have this position is actually the next position. This is called sujood. That's prostration. No, that's not true. This position, and then you go back to standing. You go back to the standing position, this one. And then from this position, then you'll go here into sujood. Okay? And then from in sujood, you would go into the seated position, which is this position here. Okay? And this position is called jalsa. Jalsah, jalsa. It's a seated position. And this here is showing you the position of her feet while she's in this seated position. Okay? So one foot is under you. The other foot is on the side. Sometimes you will put both feet on the side. This is a comfort factor so you can focus on your prayers. Okay? So after this seated position, you go back to the prostration, which is sujood, and that is considered one rakat. After that, you stand back up into qiyam, and then that will be the beginning of your second rakat. Okay? Now, the only time that you would not stand is if that's your last rakat, and then you go into this seated position, the jalsa position, and you will keep your eyes on your prostration point, and you do the tashahhud. You have both of you, when you're in the seated position, both of your hands are on your knees. You see her hand position? Both of her hands are on her knees in this position. They're just lightly sitting there. Okay, and then she will do the tashahhud where her hands, she will lift her index finger. You see indicated here. She'll lift her index finger and say the ashhadu an la ilaha illahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Okay, so that is the same statement that you may have said if you had taken your shahada. When you take your shahada, that's the same statement you say. Okay? So here you're doing ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Okay? So after that position, then you would do your taslim, which is what she's doing here. You're gonna salam chin to the shoulder. Right side first, then the left side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. For the new shahadas, I would really suggest you try to make as many prayers at the masjid as you can so you can see the people around you and their positions during the prayer. Okay? So you can get an idea of how the flow goes. So that some rakats have some prayers have different types of rakats. Remember, we spoke about Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, right? Those are the mandatory prayers. There are additional prayers, and there are prayers that are sunnah, rakats that are sunnah, okay? So here I have a table of a charted table. Now all these things that I'm showing you, I'm not some kind of specialist or some kind of professional or anything. I'm a sister that's on the same journey you're on, and as I learn, I'm sharing with you. Okay, so if you don't have someone to learn from, we'll learn together, inshallah. That's all my intention is. I am not an imam, I am not a qadi, I am not a scholar, I'm just BrooklynMuslimah. I'm just myself, and I'm just sharing my journey with you while we study Islam, this way of life together. Okay? So we're just walking together. Okay? So this right here, I got off the internet. I printed this off the internet, and it is a table of the number of rakats for each prayer. Now, what we want to focus on is this right here, where it says farz or fard. Sometimes you'll see it written F-A-R-D, and sometimes you'll see it written F-A-R-Z. Okay, so this second column here, this first column is the sunnah rakats before a prayer, and this third column is the sunnah rakats after a prayer. Okay, so we're looking at the second column right here. These are the rakats for these prayers. This just says Allahu Akbar. All right, so this is Fajr prayer. That's your before the sun rises prayer. That's 2 rakats. That prayer is out loud. The entire prayer, the surahs are out loud. Okay, so this one here is Zohr, and Zohr is 4 rakats. Okay, this is Asr. Asr is 4 rakats. Okay, Maghrib is 3 rakats. Isha is 4 rakats. If you go to the masjid on Jummah is Friday. If you go to the masjid during the Zohr prayer time for Jummah, then you're making communal prayer together. You will make 2 rakats with the jama'ah, and then that will take the place of the Zohr. So on Friday, you would not make Zohr prayer because you're replacing it with Jummah. So on a Friday, when you go to the masjid, it'll be Fajr, Jummah, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Okay, now if you need to know the location of a masjid near you, or if you need to know the time of the prayers at the masjid near you, then you can Google that. The internet is a wonderful thing. You can Google it. You can Google search mosques near me. We'll go over later in some other videos the words for each prayer and each position, because there are words that go with each position, and we'll go over that in the next video, the words for each position. Before you start your prayer, I want to go over intention though. Okay, so before you start your prayer, what needs to be said is the niyah. So you would go into wudu. You would make your wudu, ablution, wash yourself, and then you would go cover yourself properly. All right, for the women, what shows is your face, hands, and your feet. All right, and then you would find your direction. You're going to try and face the Kaaba. Okay, so you're facing the direction of the Kaaba. All right, so that also you can find on an app on your phone, Qibla direction. And then you will find your direction, and you're facing your direction. If you use a carpet, put the carpet down. All right, and then you have your eyes in the position of where you're going to go. In your mind, you're thinking, I'm making Salaat, I'm going to prayer. You takbir, Allahu Akbar, put your hands in a proper position. And the first thing you're going to do is your niyah. Okay, your niyah is going to be the first thing that you're going to do. All right, so you have to make sure that you're paying attention and trying to focus. There are going to be so many things that go through your mind. Excuse me, I need to move my leg. There's going to be so many things that are going to go through your mind when it's time for Salat. Try to fight the temptation to be distracted and just focus. So you step on your carpet, you put your vision to where your prostration would normally be, and then you Allahu Akbar, put your hands in position, and you're going to say Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayrak. Okay? So a little bit slower. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayrak. Okay? And then after that, it goes into A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillah, and we'll go into that, okay? But that beginning part, Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayrak, is your intention for prayer. That is your niyah. And in English, that translates to, you are glorified, O Allah, and praised. Your name is blessed. Your majesty is exalted, and none has the right to be worshipped but you. Okay? So again, Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayrak. Okay? Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika wa tabaraka ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghayrak. That is said to yourself. All right? So now we've gone over how many rakats, what is a rakat, how many position movements, the beginning of the prayer, the takbir, Allahu Akbar, the position, hands, right over left, 3 fingers, pinky and thumb. What is this called? Yes, pinky and thumb there, right? Here. And then we've gone over the names of the prayers, how many rakats each prayer is, what is the combination of movements that constitute a rakat, and the intention for prayer and what the words are for that. On our next video, we are going to go over the Fatiha. So that's the first thing we're going to learn, is the first surah of the Quran, and it's called the Fatiha. And that is part of every single prayer and part of every single rakat. So we are going to go over that in our next video, inshallah. Again, may Allah guide us all. May Allah forgive me if I have said anything that is incorrect. And please seek guidance and accuracy through your own research. And if I realize that I made any incorrect statements, I will make a correction video immediately upon verifying my mistake. So inshallah, together we're gonna get this, and may Allah forgive us for any of our shortcomings, and guide us all, and help us get to the right path and resist all temptation and distraction from our main focus, inshallah. So until next time, BrooklynMuslimah here. And if you have anything that you want to know or you need to know, I can do some research. You just put it in the comments below. And until next time, inshallah. So I'm learning YouTube videoing and Islam and sharing this with you, and we will get better, inshallah, as we go along. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my sisters. Until next time.